Welcome to the Louisiana Business and Industry Show. And now your host, Tim Johnson.
We'll talk about great careers in the construction industry when Jennifer Wilkerson, Director of Marketing for the NCCER, and Kayleen McCabe, Contractor and Television Personality, join us when we return on this edition of the Louisiana Business and Industry Show.
Consumers and property owners with construction projects can have a successful result or regretful experiences that could have been avoided. Before any construction project, verify licensure of the contractor and check references. Scammers will claim to be insured or bonded, so always check first. Download our app, LA Contractor, from the Android or Apple Store. Visit our website, lacontractor.org, or contact the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors. We're here to help before things go wrong. Hire a licensed contractor. It's the law.
I've been doing business with LBIS for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes LBIS a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Promoting workplace safety and family wellness. That's our motto at Gulf Coast Occupational Medicine. The Gulf Coast staff is made up of some of the most knowledgeable and hardest working medical professionals in Louisiana. We care about your safety and your bottom line. With 8 convenient locations in the greater Baton Rouge area, our services include injury management, physical exams, medical surveillance, and substance abuse testing. For more information, visit us on the web at gcombr.info and ride the wave to safety. Passion, experience, safety. These are what set Arkell Constructors apart as a premier general contractor. At Arkell Constructors, our goal is to exceed our clients' expectations, whether it's commercial, industrial, or facility maintenance. We have the team and processes in place to provide a solution for you. To us, every project is a resume for our future. Arkell Constructors, the solution for your next building project.
Welcome back to the Louisiana Business and Industry Show. Going to have a lot of fun today. Pleased to be joined by Jennifer Wilkerson, the Director of Marketing for the NCCER, that's formerly the National Center for Construction Education and Research, and Kayleen McCabe, who is a TV personality and contractor. Guys, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be here.
Jennifer, let's start with you. A lot of folks who I think watch our show probably aware of the NCCER, but give our viewers an overview of the organization and what its mission is.
Sure. So we're a nonprofit 501c3 education foundation. In 1996, basically the industrial and commercial construction industries knew that they needed to standardize what they were doing to make sure that people that were employed by them had the skills and the credentials to show those skills. And so NCCER as a nonprofit came together with industry and created a fantastic system that includes curriculum, assessments, tests, certifications, and credentials.
Really has become the gold standard for training construction craft professionals, and we're going to get into a lot of that as we go along. Kayleen, you've got a very interesting background, TV personality, contractor. Talk about your work history and you know, the sort of different methods that you've taken, the different approach that you've taken to the construction industry.
Sure. I fell in love with construction in my 20s. I wish I had actually found it in high school with a program like NCCER, but I love working in construction, and I kept falling into it through different television shows, but then finally I left television to start my own construction company because it was the passion of being able to create with my hands and help homeowners doing something so valuable to them that really is what drives me now. So now being able to pass on that message to the next generation is even more exciting.
Talk about your television show a little bit, because I think some of our viewers have probably seen you before on the Do It Yourself Network. Talk a little bit about those 5 years and what that taught you overall in terms of being a contractor now.
Sure. So the premise of my show, Rescue Renovation, is I would help out homeowners who try to tackle projects and they think that they can do it over a weekend or with a small budget. And so I was really fortunate to be able to come in and help homeowners kind of get them out of a pickle. Now what that taught me I was very surprised to see what people will do with their most expensive investment, the damage that they will willingly do to their own home without realizing how much work and skilled professional labor it takes to really make a space fantastic. So it was an opportunity to teach homeowners sometimes some basic tool usage, but then also how to care for your home.
And what you did really fits nicely with the mission of NCCER, and that is recruiting, training, certifying, credentialing this next generation of construction craft professionals. So Jennifer, I want to turn back to you. This industry, and when we think about the construction industry, it's huge. You've got residential, you've got commercial, you've got industrial, you've got heavy highway, all these different aspects. But there is a tremendous demand for additional skilled workers today. The construction industry as the bedrock of the economy, it's kind of where everything starts. And we need more folks choosing construction. Let's talk about the demand that exists, both now and what we expect it to be over the next 2 to 5 years.
Yeah, the demand is incredible. I don't think people understand the scope of construction, I think, is one of the things. So the construction industry employs about 7.2 million people in the construction industry. And as you said, there's home building, but there's also the industrial and the commercial aspects that sometimes people forget. So the hospitals, the schools, the stadiums, industrial, the car manufacturers,
Chemical
all the
plants, refineries,
amazing.
all of those, right?
And so even with having 7.2 million people employed now, what we're seeing is the need for 1.5 to 2 million new skilled professionals within the next 3 to 5 years.
And we talk about them in terms of construction craft professionals because that's what these folks are. They are professional technicians. They are professional craftspeople. And we're talking about welders and pipe fitters and electricians and instrumentation techs and heavy equipment operators and carpenters. All of those things that come together to help build these facilities or build these commercial buildings. And when we talk about an additional 2 million, it's significant for a lot of reasons. Number one, we're in great competition with other industries as well. Talk about that competition a little bit.
Well, we have aerospace, there's IT. When you talk about young people, I taught high school English for 13 years, and there's so many things that kids are interested in that we have to compete against that. And the construction industry really needs to work on becoming an industry of choice for young people, especially with the fact we have about 20% of our workforce that's going to be retiring over the next 5 years, 10 years from now. And so there's deep concern, and I think the outreach to young people, to minorities, to women are extremely important right now.
One of the things that NCCER has also engaged in is this program called Hard Hat Heroes, where we are working to encourage returning military to come into our industry too. Give us 30 seconds on what that program's all about.
It's a really exciting program, so I love to talk about it. Real quick, what we've done is taken the time to take our curriculum and align it directly with what's going on in the military and their training, and we're able now, free of charge, to give veterans and transitioning military NCCER credentials based on what they learned while they were in the military.
It really is a great opportunity to I think, expedite the entry of these returning veterans into the construction industry, an industry, as we've talked about, that has huge demand for skilled people. Kayleen, you've now been engaged in the construction industry for some time. Give us your perspective on this demand and what you see as you travel around the country and talk to young people.
The demand is real. The jobs and the careers out there are going to pay a lot of money because we just do not have the workers to fill that position. And I'm starting to see a lot of parents and the public start to realize that there are multiple pathways to success. And while working in the construction industry might not leave you with a university degree, it is still a lot of education that goes into it, and the reward is huge. And so I'm finally starting to see the trend pick up. And we can reach the youth. They are being entertained with the technology on their phones, but we use a lot of technology in the industry now. It's completely changed. When you think of what a factory worker looks like from 50 years ago to now everybody's in static suits. It's a clean, sterile environment. It's very safe, and it's really heavy technology.
Most everything is computerized, and it is, we are looking for the best and the brightest. There may have been a time 30 years ago when you said, well, look, if you're really capable, you might be doing these things. If you're not, you might go into construction or some of these other technical fields. Construction needs the best and the brightest today as well. I say this often, that a really good layout pipe fitter will do as many mathematical calculations in his or her workday as an engineer will do, and we need them to be no less accurate. So I want to take a break. I want to come back and talk about how we get to the hearts and minds of these young people, and more importantly, how we convince parents that these are good careers too. We're visiting with Jennifer Wilkerson and Kayleen McCabe, and you're watching the Louisiana Business and Industry Show.
Since 1919, we've designed and constructed hundreds of industrial plants, roads, ships, dams, and executed some of the most complex jobs in the world. In fact, our quality and dependability are legendary. Today, the legend continues as Brown & Root delivers engineering, construction, maintenance, and industrial specialty services throughout the U.S. and the world from our headquarters here in Louisiana. We are Brown & Root.
For over a quarter century, Kelly's has operated with honesty, integrity, and above all, safety. Kelly's features a fleet of quality equipment operated by dedicated, safety-minded employees skilled in land clearing, above-ground right-of-way maintenance, vegetation control, station yard and manned facility maintenance, above-ground pipeline support, and more. Kelly's Industrial Services, where pipeline right-of-way maintenance gets done right.
What if I said that whatever good things you build you? And that in this economy, sweat never loses its value? What if I said that there isn't a challenge in the world too great for a craft professional with the right tools? And that the steps that lead from where you are to where you want to be can only be built by you? Build your future at byf.org.
Consumers and property owners with construction projects can have a successful result or regretful experiences that could have been avoided. Before any construction project, verify licensure of the contractor and check references. Scammers will claim to be insured or bonded, so always check first. Download our app, LA Contractor, from the Android or Apple Store. Visit our website, lacontractor.org, or contact the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors. We're here to help before things go wrong. Hire a licensed contractor. It's the law.
Welcome back to the Louisiana Business and Industry Show. Kayleen McCabe, who is a contractor and a TV personality, and Jennifer Wilkerson, who is Director of Marketing for the NCCER, are my guests. We're having a great conversation about careers in the construction industry and the great demand that exists for these skilled craft professionals. We talked about returning military, but one of the areas that we are focused on in this drive to attract more individuals, the best and the brightest into the industry, is what we believe is a wholly underrepresented population, and that's women in this industry. I know for a fact that women make some of the best welders I've ever seen. I want both of you to respond to that, but Kayleen, let's start with you.
Sure, I think we really need to raise the awareness that this is an industry for women as well. This is not just a male-dominated career path. In fact, I've found so much reward and happiness by doing this, and I would love to see more females on the job site because we work a little bit differently, but we are representing 50% of the population, but in the construction industry, we're less than 3%. And so we're so desperate for people and really tapping in and letting people know that this is a career that females should absolutely consider.
And Jennifer, I want you to jump in, but we mentioned the way things used to be maybe 30 years ago, 40 years ago, and so there might be some perceptions out there about what it's like to be a woman in this industry from 20 or 25 years ago that are not so realistic today. What's your perspective?
Well, I think, this is something as an industry that we really have not done a good job at our outreach for women and letting them know. Again, I said industry of choice before, and I think, again, we have to become and show them the pay, the stability, the skills that they learn, and as Kayleen said, just that feeling and that pride that you can get from accomplishing something like this. There's so many women out there, young, middle-aged, single moms, that construction can be such a fantastic opportunity. Like I said, I just don't think they know.
And we've got so many wonderful examples where that, in fact, is exactly the case. You mentioned pay. And as we think about all of the reasons that any individual might choose a career, obviously what you're going to be paid is a critical factor. These are great jobs, high-paying jobs with great benefits. Talk a little bit about that.
It's always surprising. We go and talk to school counselors, to teachers, and we put up our salary survey to give them an idea of what can be made in the construction industry. And it doesn't matter where we are, people are shocked. They said they had no idea a mobile crane operator could make that kind of money starting out. And then we even go to tell them there's per diem, there's overtime. So yeah, this is something, it's kind of a best kept secret. But what happens too that we need to think about is young people, unemployed, underemployed, they can go
transitioning.
Yes, right. And they can get a job and have zero to no debt whatsoever as far as college. They can do a community college and certainly incur some, but we have people coming out with credentials, certifications, and 2-year programs making more than people that are graduating from a university.
There's a wonderful example in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at the ABC Training Center where 2 young men took welding while they were juniors and seniors in high school, came to welding at ABC at night, 2 nights a week during their senior year. Both of them certified as combination welders upon graduation from high school, and their first year out, one of them made $75,000 and the other one made $78,000 as 18-year-old combination welders. That's the kind of career path we're talking about.
And we have to celebrate that. And I believe it's not just the pay too, but let's say those combination welders someday don't want to weld anymore. They can transition into another trade. They can easily go become auto mechanics. The skills that you're learning in the trades transition to other trades. And so your employment goes through the roof. The opportunities that you have are huge. And when you think of being 18 making that kind of money, you're also free. Not being saddled with debt like that is incredible. And so we're really here being able to provide such independence and great skills.
You talked about career path, and you think about that skilled craft professional who has then so many options as they go through their career. One of the things we're really going to try to promote, and have been for some time, is the idea of the career path in the construction industry. One of the very few places that you can go from having never ever picked up a hammer to owning your own business in 7 to 10 years. Talk about the career path, Jennifer.
I think, again, another best kept secret is the fact that it's very versatile. So just because you start out and you start working on your tools and maybe you want to be a journeyman welder, but then you decide you want to do project supervision, you want to be a superintendent, you want to do project management, you can actually go back in, whether it's to school, and many times industry actually pays for their employees to go back and get education, higher education. But I just think that the career pathways really are endless. I would say another thing that I'd like to add here too is the definition of success. So I think there's been a real issue, and I think maybe media has fed into this. For so long, we've seen doctors, attorneys, and we have TV shows about them, and everybody wants to talk about that's success. I think success is different for each person, and I think that success, as you were saying, you're not confined by debt, you're not confined by walls. I mean, where's your office going to be this week? Are you going to be on a 50-story building? Are you going to be in
an industrial plant, right?
There's so many opportunities.
You mentioned that different careers and how culturally we've put emphasis on those careers that are obtained through the 4-year university. I will tell you that in South Louisiana, and our viewers all over Louisiana know this to be true, that if your air conditioning system goes out on a summer night in July, that HVAC tech that comes to your house to repair your air conditioning is every bit as important as your accountant or your lawyer or your doctor. Would you agree?
I completely agree. And also to the fact we look at doctors, surgeons use the same tools I do. I've seen surgeons use hammers and sawzalls, and they are caring for someone. I use it with the exact same amount of care and love and passion. So yeah, it's good stuff.
Really important. Listen, we don't want to be here sitting making anyone think that we are discouraging individuals from going and pursuing those careers, because we need the doctors and the lawyers and the surgeons like my wonderful daughter is going to be. But we also need to make sure we're focused on bringing people into this industry. We're going to launch a new initiative called BYF Today, Build Your Future Today. The 3 of us together, supported by NCCER. I want to come back from the break and in the last segment talk more about that and explain to our viewers what we're going to be doing. We're visiting with Jennifer Wilkerson and Kayleen McCabe, and you're watching the Louisiana Business and Industry Show.
Passion, experience, safety. These are what set Arkell Constructors apart as a premier general contractor. At Arkell Constructors, our goal is to exceed our clients' expectations, whether it's commercial, industrial, or facility maintenance. We have the team and processes in place to provide a solution for you. To us, every project is a resume for our future. Arkell Constructors, the solution for your next building project.
Since 1919, we've designed and constructed hundreds of industrial plants, roads, ships, dams, and executed some of the most complex jobs in the world. In fact, our quality and dependability are legendary. Today, the legend continues as Brown & Root delivers engineering, construction, maintenance, and industrial specialty services throughout the U.S. and the world from our headquarters here in Louisiana. We are Brown & Root.
It might be one of the most efficient, most effective methods of communications we've ever used.
For more than 25 years, the TJC Group has been helping industry communicate and build relationships with communities, elected officials, and governmental agencies. We are the leading firm in the U.S. for the development, management, and facilitation of industry-based community advisory panels.
Whether you're building a new facility or you manage an existing business, let us put our community and governmental relations experience to work for you.
The TJC Group, facilitating solutions for business and industry.
Welcome back to the Louisiana Business and Industry Show. Kayleen McCabe, who is a contractor and a television personality, and Jennifer Wilkerson, who is the Director of Marketing for the NCCER, are my guest. Final segment, let's talk about the new initiative that we are launching in conjunction with NCCER. I will be working closely with you guys on what we're calling BYF Today. That's Build Your Future Today. Now, the BYF initiative, the Build Your Future initiative, has existed for a number of years within NCCER. 4 or 5 years ago, we kind of put it on steroids. Talk about the program, Jennifer, as it exists today.
Sure. So Build Your Future, obviously, it has been the recruitment image enhancement side of NCCER. And we started out with teacher resources, some posters, some videos, things like that for classrooms. But what we found in 2011 after the recession was we needed to really step things up. Great concern about the number of people that left the industry during that time. And so we revamped the program, really got out there, came out with trading cards, came out with more resources for instructors, built our website so that young people, parents, anybody that's looking for a great career can come and look at the career pathways. They can do some interactive trading cards we have developed so they can find out salaries, education requirements, different things like that so that they can explore careers in construction. And that's really what we had been working on up to this point before we go to the next step.
Jennifer, Kayleen mentioned the trading cards. You've seen them, you like them. They're a big hit.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about those.
I think it's a great concept. You can now take this package of trading cards and you watch students start to flip through and kind of start to play as part of the exploration, but the facts on them are stunning, and they'll start to trade them too, which is really funny because the crane operator makes the most, so it's the best card to have. Right. But really this visual representation of this is what my education could be, this is what I could make, and here's a picture of someone doing this job. I think that's very, very valuable.
It's really good stuff. Now, the next step for BYF is where we're headed now, right? And that's the next growth part of this, and it's a program we're going to call BYF Today, and it's going to be a lot of interactive, it's digital, it's media, it's videos, but really focused to a great degree on parents of individuals who might be great participants in our industry. Talk about where we're headed with the new BYF Today.
Well, and I think all of us we're all aware of social media. We know that that's the space that we need to be in, even more than what we've been in. We know that 100 million minutes of video are watched every day on Facebook. YouTube has over 100 billion users on YouTube. So what we're wanting to do is really step up and get in the space where, whether it's a parent, whether it's a young person, no matter who it is, we are talking to them where they're at, in their home, at the schools, that they can get the information they need to make good career decisions, and hopefully that would be to choose construction.
And one of the things we're going to focus on, Kayleen, I want you to jump in here on this, is the dignity of this industry, right? The dignity of the work that you're going to do, the fact that you can build something that leaves a legacy for your kids and your grandchildren. Talk about the dignity of work aspect of this new BYF today.
There's so much pride to have in this industry, and it's wonderful seeing people step up, and we need to share that with the parents and the guidance counselors. I think these are two gatekeepers that are really critical to helping fix the labor shortage in general. But really informing the parents that this is a wonderful career. You aren't setting your child up for failure. You're actually giving them great tools and opportunities for success by encouraging your student to consider a career in construction. It all starts with construction. It's all around us everywhere. And so being able to highlight that and then really make it applicable, like, oh, you could build this table, or you could build this studio, et cetera, and have pride with it. It's so valuable to share.
It's really good stuff. Now, we were up at the wonderful Skills USA competition in Louisville a couple of weeks ago, the three of us together, and we began to shoot some of this video that we're talking about. We did some good stuff there. At least you tell me it's good stuff. I haven't had an opportunity to see it yet. Talk about the video aspect of what we're going to be doing and how we might see it get deployed through social media.
Well, what we really want to do is show what construction is. So it's going to be going to project sites. We want to get out to the incredible projects across the United States. These people build America. They have a lot of pride in building America. We think we need to showcase that. We met some incredible students at Skills USA that were young people, although it's not all about just young people, but it was incredible, their view on construction and being excited about building incredible structures.
Their energy and their skill level at such a young age is always impressive to see, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So as we begin to put this together, what's the call to action? If we think about a specific call for students, for parents, for stakeholders in the industry, particularly contractors, let's go through some of those, Jennifer, and tell us, if I'm watching this show today and I've been inspired by what I've seen, what do I do?
Well, for one of the things with industry, I go and I speak all across the United States with both aspects, the education side and industry. And one thing I always say to industry, have you gone to your local high school? Have you gone to your middle school? Do you send someone out? And when I mean send someone out, someone that looks like them. Someone that,
that they can relate to.
They can relate
I
to.
could be that person.
Get excited about it. So I think for contractors, we have to realize we have to become an industry of choice. It isn't about choosing just individual contractors, but choosing construction. And I always say, the healthcare industry has done it right. Everybody wanted to be a nurse starting about 10 years ago, and I think it's really because they all came together and said the same message. Doesn't matter which hospital you work at, we just want you to choose healthcare. We want to do that for construction.
In construction, it's not about a job on a project, it's about a career in an industry. 10 seconds, Kayleen, your thoughts on where we're headed.
First of all, go visit the website, educate yourself. BYF has some amazing resources.
www.byf.org.
Yes. And that I do, go out there and share. If you're working in the industry, please share it.
Listen, it's exciting. We hope it's transformative in terms of our ability to capture the hearts and minds and skills of young people. Kayleen McCabe, Jennifer Wilkerson, thanks for your time. We're looking forward to this effort. It's going to be great.
Thank you.
That's a wrap, guys. Thanks for joining us. Join us again next week at this very same time for another edition of the Louisiana Business and Industry Show.